Okay, thank you all for your patience on starting and everything, and welcome back. September 8th, 2021, the Recovery Plan Advisory Committee meeting. This is being recorded and we will post it tomorrow on YouTube so that the general public, and I invite anyone who's trying to see this and gets on it tomorrow, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us here at the district. You can call us 717-845-3571, or you can use any of our emails, and there's mine at the bottom of the screen. So we'll start with the advisory committee meeting minutes from August 11th, 2021. Those were sent to you ahead of time. Are there any, may I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Sweeney. Is there a second?
I second.
And that
I'll
was,
second.
I'm sorry, could you say your names? We can't see you. Who seconded the motion?
This is Miss Jess. I'll second. Jess Nieves.
Thank you, Ms. Nieves. Appreciate it. Any questions, any changes, edits? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Abstentions? Okay, minutes approved as presented then. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda, we have Mr. Hain, our acting business manager. We sent you the June and July reports from the financial reports that we had gone over last time. And those were sent to you ahead of time for your files. And tonight he's going to present to you the August 2021 financial report. So Cliff, if you could put up the financial report, please. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Hain.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Thu. The profit and loss or financial statement as it stands here shows our revenues and expenditures through August. I would like to point out that if you compare this to the July report, all revenues are considerably up. And as a result of local revenue, of course, we started collecting real estate taxes. Our first state subsidy came in August, and the state subsidies typically come every 2 months. There could be minor ones in between, but that's generally how the state works. And our federal revenue, some of the automatic grant disbursements have come through in August as well, and they are continuous throughout the year. And one thing and everything else is pretty consistent. A lot of the regular instruction as we go down to the expenditures and the other instructional programs, the 1400 line item, those were a result of the summer teaching programs. And those were expected. And I believe I pointed out in July for the 1400 line that it looks like there's a considerable amount of expense now, but that's because of the summer teaching program, the Summer Slam. So a lot of that, it was recorded in July and August. So we did not, we will not continually see an increase there. It'll be slight, but not as great as it was in those first 2 months. So then everything else is pretty standard. And if we go down, Cliff, if you could roll down to the bottom line, which is right there. So between the revenues minus the expenditures, we are showing in the plus of almost $15 million. So that's between the two lines right there. The two bottom lines are just a fund balance expectation, but that constantly changes. So other than that, we're doing well. Still in the process of closing out fiscal year 2021 because we're waiting for some accruals. A lot of the charter schools have been slow in getting their final payments or final requests for payments to us. So we my hope is, and my expectation is that we should have a pretty good wrap up of our fiscal year 2021 by the end of September. And that would conclude my report. And if there's any questions, I can field those as well.
Are there any questions for Mr. Hain? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate your time and your providing us with the report. A copy of this report will be provided to the committee once the board has a chance to approve it next week. We always provide it after the board has approved it. Then we also send a copy up to the State Department for the month because they review everything on a month-to-month basis also. So thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll move into our recovery plan with Dr. Barry. Cliff, if you could put up Dr. Barry's slide presentation for us, please. Thank you. Dr. Barry, I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. We certainly don't take your attendance, especially on a great day like today, for granted. I will be before you briefly to talk about this month's Learning Safety Plan Part 1. And we always start by showing the transmission table for COVID-19. Cliff, if you could move to the next slide, please. Thank you. The level of community transmission, we've added a few districts that are in our IU, a few counties that are in our IU. We generally report York, Lancaster, Dauphin, and Lebanon, but we added Adams and Franklin because they are a part of our IU. As you can see, they are all reporting in the high. This transmission table has changed from last year. We used to only report in low, moderate, and substantial, but this transmission table has been expanded to include a high category, and all of the reported counties here are reporting in the high transmission range. We continue to learn safely through our 4 goals dealing with safety, excellence, personalization, and communication. Some updates from my office. We received a grant that's a joint venture between the district and HAC that will provide engineering type of coursework and activities for our students. We met with the union leadership to gain buy-in for a strong suggestion for staff to get vaccinated or be subjected to weekly COVID-19 testing. That was well received with that group. We've launched a promotion video to encourage the faculty and staff to get vaccinated. We started the first day of school for grades K through 9 on the 30th. And then on the 31st, we had grades 10 through 12. We conducted the Listen and Learn meeting for the ESSERS funds. When we conducted the meeting about the COVID-19 buy-in vaccination, we also did the Listen and Learn for the ESSERS fund, ESSERS 3 funds with the union leadership. We've rescheduled our Listen and Learns for ESSERS 3 funding for the community for the following dates. You can either attend one on Thursday, September 16th, Monday, September 20th, and Monday, September 27th virtually. That flyer has been posted to our website as well as Facebook, and the Zoom links will be available as well. We formally introduced Mrs. Kira Bowman, who is the new communications coordinator at last night's committee meeting, as well as William Penn Senior High School's new principal, Dr. Blair Smoke. We registered about 949 kids since July 1st. Registration has been jumping and busy, And on the first day of school, August 30th, we registered a total of 214 students. We have a few Bearcat shout outs that we wanted to highlight. Two principals, Mr. Keith Still, Mrs. Chantress Williams, have already provided instructional feedback in over 55 classrooms combined. So they've got in and done some official walkthroughs and collected data and gave teachers feedback already on and it's only day 5 of school. So wonderful. And Dr. Smoke spent his weekend doing wall walks, looking for evidence of instruction and learning in the high school and leaving notes for his staff about what he was seeing when there was no one in the building and evidence of learning looking at the walls and the boards. So thank you to our administrators for leading with such passion, purpose, and passion and purpose. I'm sorry. Moving along, our enrollment breakdown by school is before you. As you can see, our numbers are highest at Devers with 715 students. And then the closest after that is Ferguson. Those numbers keep climbing. We have roughly about 400 students altogether. 425, I think, was the last count that we had in Bearcat Cyber between K-8 and 9 through 12. Excuse me. And on day 2, so like I said earlier in the updates, on day 1, we only had 9th grade at the high school, big 9th grade class, 657 students. And then 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, which is encompassing a number high in the 17, well, in the low 1700s, 1739. That is higher than it has been since I've been here, and this is now my 5th year in the district. So that's a pretty high number. And these are our breakdowns by grades in each of the schools. If you look at the 7th and 8th grades, at the 7th grade at McKinley is Endeavors are topping the charts here. We have quite a few kids in 8th grade at Good. So and we have pockets of students that are big in some of the lower grades. 2nd grade at Hannah Penn is pretty big. So we're happy that students are electing to come back to school in person. And we're hoping that we can continue to keep them safe. So looking ahead, we have some professional development opportunities as well as some meetings that we wanted to share. On the 15th, there's an early dismissal for district-wide professional development. And on the 16th, there's a grade level meeting. The 20th, there's the PD Planning Committee meeting. The 21st, we have the admin meeting for only principals. And on the 22nd and 23rd, we have the admin meeting for assistant principals. And that is an error. The board meeting is not September 19th. The board meeting is September the 15th. The 15th. So unless you plan on being here on Sunday, which we are not, the 15th is the correct date for the board meeting. So we have some data regarding COVID-19 vaccines. We were polling our YCEA and ESP staff, asking about whether their vaccination status, because we are looking to aggressively the option of having, we don't like to use the word mandated, but strong suggestion for vaccinations, or alternative being that the staff members would be subjected to weekly COVID-19 testing. So we got about 167 responses out of about 497 to 500 adults. And 88% of those surveyed have reported that they are fully vaccinated. We have a percentage that's, that is partially. There is a percentage that is saying no, but they would like to be vaccinated. And we're going to try to, reach out to that population and find out who they are. There is a significant group that is saying no. And then, as you can see, there's others will not be getting, don't want to, unsure of, not vaccinated. So lots of reports. Next slide, please. And then we ask them to submit if they are vaccinated, we ask them to submit their information to HR. HR, out of 165 responses, 66.7 people have submitted. We're not sure why, if they are vaccinated, they wouldn't want to submit the card. Maybe that's a question that we probably should have asked. But for the most part, we are still getting cards. The last time I checked, we had over 200 cards. So there are quite a few staff members that are vaccinated, and some are just choosing not to share. And then, of course, there's a significant amount that aren't. So we are certainly going to, it's looking like we will be moving in the direction of trying to strongly suggest that our staff members get vaccinated. And if they don't, they will be subjected to testing weekly. And as a recommendation to the board, I'm asking them to accept the superintendent's regulation for vaccination documentation and or weekly testing. And we are beginning to have discussions about replacement of our school police officers' pepper ball launchers with a newer product, a newer and more improved product from Burner, which increases accuracy, reliability, and is a better financial choice. So I believe that that is all that I have. Cliff, correct? That's the last slide.
Yes, that is the last one.
Okay, and if there are any questions, I am happy to answer them.
Do any committee members have questions for Dr. Berry? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Dr. Berry.
That concludes my report, Dr. Thu. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. The last item on the agenda is ESSERS 3, the American Recovery Plan. Last meeting, we had shared with you what we had planned initially for expenditures, and this plan has to be submitted by September 30th. So we met today as a team and wrote the narratives for the grant, and we're still collecting data from the different listen and learns as to suggestions on how we could spend some of the funds and these funds will go out to 2024. So we wanted to bring it back to your attention today. If you have any comments, we welcome them now. If not, please, we sent you a little PowerPoint about this, along with a blank form of suggestions or comments or questions. Please feel free to fill that out, scan it to me or to Dr. Berry, and we'll be glad to add your input as we do the lessons and learn, the next 3 listen and learns, so that we can have input from our community and all our stakeholder groups. And as you can see, we're doing a whole lot of things, from professional development to software purchases to training, and also looking at different areas that we can utilize the funding with. One of the things that we're looking at that is mandated by the grant, the ARC grant, is that 20% of the grant must be set aside for academic mitigation. And so we plan on holding the Summer Slam program for the next 3 years, along with a bunch of other things to try and support our students through tutoring and after-school programs and such. So Dr. Berry, would you like to add any further comments about what we did today or what was going on?
No, sir.
Okay. Are there any comments or suggestions for us at this point? Okay, hearing none. The next meeting we have is October 13th. And again, it will be virtual. And also we'll be sitting here in the boardroom. If you would prefer to join us here, you're more than welcome at any time. But again, we will do it virtual, and we'll have the snags worked out as far as, you know, broadcasting this live and everything by then. So I appreciate your time. Are there any comments that people would like to share with us, or any comments that they want to say about the district, or any comments to anyone on the committee at all? Okay, hearing none, I'm not going to keep you away from such a beautiful evening and give you a chance to maybe go outside and enjoy some of this beautiful weather. So thank you all for your time. Greatly appreciate it. And we will see you next month. And if you need us in between that, feel free to call. We're here at any time. So thank you very much and have a good evening.
Have a
Good
good
night.
evening.
Good night.
Have a good night. Thank you, Dr. Thu.
Thank you, guys.
Night.